They're absolutely correct. I'm listening. Pot is not a dangerous drug. My brother's got a favorite joke. Walking down this way is a drunk. Coming down this way is a pothead. And they bump shoulders. And the drunk goes back and goes, "Hey, you!" And the pothead goes, "Hey, what?" That's the difference between the two drugs. One is dangerous, the other one's not. And I'm not surprised the reaction you're getting here in Philadelphia. Julian Heichland came here, I guess it's probably about 5 or 6 years ago now, for a big marijuana smokeout day. It was early May. And I was one of the speakers up on stage with him. We were in front of the Federal Building, downtown Philadelphia on Market Street. And we had chairs and we're sitting there, and Julian, of course, he always, at his smokeouts, he always fires up. And he says the same thing. He says, "I like the torch of freedom." And he fires it up and he takes a drag. The two of us are sitting next to each other in chairs. Between us comes a cop in a trench coat. He leans over and he says to Julian, he says, "If anybody gives you any problems, you point to the person who's giving you the problem and we'll take care of him." The man walks away. Julian looks at me and says, "What the hell kind of town is this?" I said, "Julian, don't you understand? You've won. You've won the battle." There's a libertarian solution. One man deciding to do something. Two men deciding to do something. And you know, I bet there's a couple of you out there who are looking to do something. So we're going to take a 5 or 10 minute break so you can go visit the restrooms, and then we'll be right, or whatever kind of smoke that you got. We'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I should.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ken Krawchuk, your MC, and I'd like to welcome you to Montgomery County's Pennsylvania Libertarian Organizational Workshop. Thank you. We're starting again after our reconvening. And for those who may have joined us just now, my name is Ken Krawchuk. I was the Libertarian Party candidate for governor of Pennsylvania in 2002 and 1998. First part of our meeting started off with Fun with Liberty, where we heard from some speakers who were talking about all the fun ways that they could take liberty and advance the cause. Then we heard another stretch where we heard libertarian solutions, all sorts of libertarian solutions, whether it was preventing rapes, saving little old ladies from having their property stolen, letting people make it home to their families instead of winding up in jail, marijuana smokeouts, all sorts of good stuff. So now we're going to turn our attention to the organizational side, where we talk about how you can actually get involved and make changes from inside the system. And we're going to look at that from two different points of view. The first one we're going to do is look at how to run for public office on the local, the state, well, the local and not so local, and the statewide level. And then we're going to look at how you could become involved in the, I hate to use the term, leadership of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania. So for the first part of that, we're going to look at the very local races, town councils and things like that. Then we're going to look at the wider area races, state rep and Congress. And then we're going to look at the statewide races. Our speaker, to address the idea of local races, has run for his town council 5 times so far. He's also helped organize different campaigns to get Libertarian to be the county with the most elected Libertarians in the nation, which is 12 at the time. And as somebody who's a very good friend of mine, somebody I've known all my life, me. So let me start off by asking, how many heroes do we have in the audience? Show of hands.
Everybody's a hero.
There's a couple heroes out there. That's good. Well, what I'd like to do today is tell you how you can become a hero in the Libertarian Party. Because this year is the golden year when it comes to third parties like the Libertarians. Because this is the year of local elections. In the even-numbered years, you've got president, you've got Congress, you've got state rep, you have all of the high-level offices. But in the odd-numbered years, like 2013, this one, you have the chance to get elected into easily winnable races, town council races, school board races. In fact, there's a way that we can elect literally thousands of libertarians this year in Pennsylvania. All it takes is a couple of heroes. Let me tell you about the races. They're unique to Pennsylvania. You go outside of Pennsylvania, you don't find them. There are partisan offices in every neighborhood in the state. There are roughly, I think it's about 29,500 local races in Pennsylvania, which you can easily win. In fact, we did this in Montgomery County in 1997, and we elected 12 libertarians in that year. Jim already referred to it. We had 1/3 of the total of all elected libertarians in Pennsylvania. The positions I'm talking about are precinct-level positions. There are two positions. One of them is called the Judge of Elections, and the other two are called Inspectors of Elections. There's a majority and minority inspector of elections. What they do is they run the polling place. Judge of Elections is the person in command. They're the ones who make sure the election is done fairly. Definitely a position you want to see a libertarian in. The other two are Inspectors of Elections. They assist the Judge of Elections in running the polling place. According to law, the two Inspectors of Elections must be different parties. Typically, it's a Democrat and a Republican. But that's not always the case. The journalist Walter Lippmann once observed that a country or any regime does not fall because of revolutionary force of arms. Instead, they fall from their own weaknesses, and the revolutionary forces step into the power that has become vacant. That is what has happened in Pennsylvania. It happened back in 1997, and we took advantage of it, and it's happening this year. And that is the fact that most of the polling places in Pennsylvania, there are about 9,900 polling places in Pennsylvania, most of them do not have two candidates for Inspector of Elections. That means that you personally can walk in there, write yourself in, one vote, and win. In 1997 in Montgomery County when we did this, 12 people won. 6 of them won with 1 or 2 votes. Their own. Them and their husband or them and their wife. That's how easy it is. Let me tell you a little bit about the position. I already gave you a little bit about it. The Judge of Elections, as I mentioned, runs the local polling place. The judge is the person who opens the door up in the morning, closes up in the evenings, and makes sure that the tallies are copied down correctly and transmitted to the county seat. And of course the inspectors, they do what the judge tells them to do. The minority inspector, the one who receives the least number of votes, has the most important job because that's the person who swears in the other precinct officers. It's an easy position to fill because you only work twice a year on 2 election days, once for the primary and once for the fall. And the best part is you get paid for it. Not only that, but you also now have a little political patronage that you can dispense because you, as an inspector of election, you can hire a clerk. Now, you don't get paid a lot of money. Last number I heard was about $100, $200 for the day. But hey, it's $100, $200 for the day. You're getting paid to make sure the election is conducted fairly. Last time I looked, this last round of elections, when we did this, 2009, in my township, Abington Township, of the 38 precincts, 14 of them had nobody running for one of the Inspector of Election slots. So that means in 14 precincts, if somebody went in there and wrote in their name, we would have had 14 victories. And that's just in Abington Township. When you look at Montgomery County, the last time I looked, 2009, there were over 200 uncontested Inspector of Election seats, some Judge of Election seats. All it takes is somebody to sit there and decide, I'm going to do that. If you extrapolate statewide in Pennsylvania, that's about 3,000 uncontested positions. Now we have over 3,000 libertarians here in Montgomery County. That means we have enough libertarians here that we could take over the whole state if we wanted to. And it works. Absolutely it works. As I said, we did it. Now, in the beginning I asked if there are any heroes here, because it's not a hero who goes in there and writes in their name and says, oh, there's nobody running for the slot here. I'm going to jump in there and write my name in there. Because it takes a little more than that. What it takes, you need to be a hero is for you to make sure that you're not the only one who does that. And you know, I forgot to bring with me the trick. Back in 1997, I wrote a letter. It's punctuated with headlines, a little paragraph. The headline says, "This is the year the Libertarians win big in Abington. Our time has come because we will elect Libertarians in Abington." It's easy to become an elected Libertarian. A Libertarian victory is virtually guaranteed. Here's your chance to make a difference. We need all the help we can get. What this letter says is what I just said to you a few minutes ago. The fact that there were 30 out of the 38 slots in Abington Township, 14 of them were uncontested. Pulled money out of my own pocket, and I mailed this to the, how many did we have? I guess at the time we had 60 or 70 Libertarians in Abington Township. Out of that, we wound up electing 5 of them. What I'd like you to do, I have copies of this letter here. I would like everybody to take one home. I emailed one to Jim. Is this going to be able to get out to the electronic world?
Sure.
Sure, I like that answer. I would like you to take this letter, and I would like you to become a hero. I would like you to duplicate what Montgomery County did in 1997 to see how many elected Libertarians we can get by going after these positions that currently are being left open. What you do, let me just give you a quick rundown. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Number 1, go to your local county and get the list of of registered Libertarians in your county, in your town. And they'll give that to you for free. And if they won't, here's something else I have. This is a legal letter from, at the time, Dave John, chair of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania, citing the court case requiring them to give it to you for free. So there's step 1. Get the names of all the Libertarians. While you're there, do this after the primary. Find out where the open seats are. Just go ahead and say, I'd like to see who's on the ballot. And you'll go down, you see judge, inspector, inspector, judge, inspector, inspector. Anywhere there's no name, gold. It's a gold mine. That's a person you could slot in there. You take your list of Libertarians, you take your list of open seats, you send them the letter. Call them on the phone. Follow up. Let them know that they can make a difference this year. They can become an elected Libertarian. 1, 2, 3. Get the list of Libertarians, get the list of open offices, send them the letter, contact them, and then stand back. Now there's 2 ways they can get on the ballot. There are 2 ways they get elected. One is they get on the ballot, and that is to go out there and collect signatures. Collecting signatures for those offices, it's so hard to do. For Inspector of Elections, you need 5 signatures. Now, we have in the audience here Ivan Glinsky. Did I say your name right? He is running for Abington Township Inspector of Elections and Judge of Elections. And when I say how many signatures, he's got his hand up. He already knows. Judge of Elections.
So many.
So it's easy, quick, and the signatures, you, a couple neighbors, just sign it. And the signatures you can get from anybody who's elected in any party. They don't have to be Libertarian signatures. So when I ran, I just went next door to my neighbors. I got my wife and my kids to sign it. I had 5 right there. And just want a couple more beyond that. So I went to the neighbor and her husband signed. I'm up to 7. Across the street to the DJ who lives across the street. Him and his wife signed. I'm at 9. Dude, I'm on the ballot. One thing, if you're on the ballot, though, they're going to know you're running. So in '97, most of our candidates were stealth candidates. They never bothered to collect the 5 signatures or the 10 signatures. They never filed any paperwork with the state or the county. Instead, what they did was they got their friends in the neighborhood and they said, do me a favor. When you go in there, write me in. So some of our winners had 10, 15 votes. But of course, that was 10 or 15 votes more than anybody else who was running for that office. So you can win if you just try it now. Here's the letter. Here's the way to get the street list for free. All we need is a hero. The prize waiting for all of us is this year, 3,000 elected libertarians in Pennsylvania. Are there any questions?
What other offices are available?
Good question. As I said in the beginning, this is the local year. Town council, school board, constable. When you go to your local county, and let me tell you, this is a county thing. This is not a Harrisburg thing. These races are all conducted locally. They're all adjudicated locally. The paperwork is filed locally. It's all done through your county, not through Harrisburg. So if you want to find out, best thing to do is wait until after the primary, because we third parties and independents, we don't file on the same schedule as everybody else. In order to get on the ballot, if you choose that path, you have until August 1st to file your paperwork. But if you're not going to file paperwork, well, that doesn't really matter. The only deadline you have to worry about is the primary day, because at that point, you'll be able to see what offices there are. Just get out to your county and say, I'd like to see the list of who won the primary. You're going to see what the list of offices are: town council, school board, inspector of elections, judge of elections. This year in Montgomery County, there are no county offices open. So sheriff, county commissioners, none of those are open. This is the year of your town councils. And the only place you're going to find that information is at your county seat. And in Montgomery County here, it is Norristown. Now, if you want to run for town council, as I said, I've done that 5 times. My best race, I received 25% of the vote, which is pretty good in a partisan race. Didn't quite win, but it's an easy thing to do. Good question, though. Same answer. You follow the same steps. You go to your county, find out what happened in the primary, and then if you notice anything else that's missing, school board slots that are open, you can either go for it openly by filing the paperwork, and I'll talk about that later on, or you could do a stealth campaign. For IOE, JOE, personally, I would recommend a stealth campaign, because that way, they're not ready for you. They won't even know it's happening, especially if you're not out front handing out literature. All they will know is that sometime during the day, 10 or 15 of your friends came in and wrote you in. Any other questions? No. I have a question. How many people are going to do this? There you go. Well, you know what? I agree. I will help you. I will send you the copy of the letter. I already have the voter registration list for the entire state. So if somebody's looking for their own municipality or their own county, I can get that for you. I could help you with the filings if you choose to do it above board. If you're going to file paperwork, I could do that as well. You can contact me, info@kenk.org. info@kenk.org. Any other questions? No. I like that. Because it's simple, it's straightforward, it's quick, it's easy. Be a hero. Let's get numbers. And you know, it really worked out for me well during the governor campaign, because when I ran in 1998 for governor, we had just elected 12 libertarians. And when I was telling people out on the campaign trail, they says, Ken, you'll never get elected. I said, wait a minute. We currently have 70-some, or at that time it was 30-some libertarians in office. And it set them back, saying, oh, I didn't know that. Well, imagine if you said, oh, we have 3,000 libertarians currently in office in Pennsylvania. That's going to give them pause. All right. Well, there you go. That's my spiel. Be a hero. Run in the local races. Thank you. Now that's the local. Moving up the food chain are the next two slots, or the next several offices. State representative.